Hi guys, this is episode 17 and I'm going to discuss my family and friends' reactions when I came out. To my pleasant surprise, they were not really terrible responses. There was shock and there was confusion, that's for sure. But there was not any, get out of my house and I'm not talking to you again, which I was very lucky. Some kids get kicked out and disowned for their sexual orientation. So let's start with my favorite, my best friend's mom. She had the best response out of all of them. Her exact response was, sure, love and happiness is all that matters. How can anyone object to people who love one another? Please don't be ashamed of who you are. Like I said, love and goodness are what is truly important, and I truly don't think Jesus would disagree with that. When I told my cousin Rachel, at first she was confused. She was like, but you always dated boys. And I said, yes, publicly, but I did date girls too. And then she told me, who cares what people think? You do you. My cousin Josh said, right on. Don't think for a second I think differently of you. You just do what you think is best for you. And I'm glad that you found what makes you happy. I told my best friend Sarah through text, and I think her response was something along the lines of, that's cool. My cousin Rosemary's response was, it is your wonderful, beautiful life, my dear. I am only here to support and love you. Be with someone who cares about you. When the feeling is mutual, you know it's a good thing. I'm happy for you too. When I told one of my aunts, she asked me, are you happy? And I said, very. She said that was all that mattered to her, as long as the girl I'm with is treating me good, and that's good enough for her. I was really nervous to tell my older brother figure Daniel because he's really Christian, and I asked him, I'm gay, do you still love me? His response was perfect. Of course I do. I have plenty of gay friends. A lot of my friends that are my age just accepted it. They said, do what makes you happy. I'm glad you found what makes you feel most comfortable with who you are. And it was great. However, my parents took a little bit more time. I've been having these feelings that I was gay ever since I was 12. And when I told my mom then, I never kissed a boy yet, and her answer was that I've never kissed a boy, and obviously I don't know what I'm talking about. And I thought maybe that's a possibility. And then when I was about 14, in ninth grade, I had feelings for one of my friends, and we became girlfriends, and it was great. And then I told my mom, and she said, no more sleepovers. She told me I was desperate, and I just wanted attention from someone. Since I couldn't get it from the boys, I went for the girls. And it really hurt my feelings. I know she didn't mean it in a bad way, although it does sound bad. She was just trying to steer me in the right direction. Unfortunately, people are not cars, and you can't steer them in any direction. They choose their own path they want to take for their life. I got to a point where those feelings started to really scare me because I didn't want to be gay. I didn't want to have another thing that would make me different from everyone else, another thing to be bullied for. So I told her that I didn't feel that way about her anymore, and it had to end. And it broke my heart, but I just wasn't ready to tell everyone, and she was. And if I knew that if I continued to be with her, that my feelings would grow stronger, and I would go further down that path, and I wasn't wanting to go down that path. However, try as I might to turn them off, throughout the entirety of high school, I still had crushes on girls. I had a thing with a couple of girls. It wasn't a long thing, normally the next day or a few hours later, like, oh, I'm not gay, I'm just missing my boyfriend, or I was just messing around, which was hurtful, but also good because that way I was steered towards guys. For the rest of high school, I kept my feelings to myself and didn't share them with my mother. After a fiasco in 10th grade, I gave up on girls altogether and I stopped trying to date them. I had crushes. Yes, that's true. But I didn't date them or kiss them or do anything with them. I stuck strictly to guys. And of course, the entire time I was dating guys, I was looking for a boyfriend, trying to be, normal, whatever that is. And I even fell in love with a guy. And it's not that I can't love a guy. It's that I'm not sexually attracted to them. He became my best friend. And if I had a boyfriend, I had a friend. And we just became really close. And I thought, I can be in love with someone and be their best friend forever and not be sexually satisfied. That's not a big deal. Because I loved him for who he was on the inside. But that didn't last forever. It eventually had to end. And when I went off to college, I figured out who I really was and what I really wanted. And what I wanted was girls. And sometime in the middle of my first semester away from home, I told my mom what was going on with girls. And she was like, okay, well, do you regret doing that? And I was like, no, Mom, I don't. She was trying to get me to say that I didn't like it or I regretted it, which was not the case. And I think for a long time, she was in denial because I kept trying to tell her this, and she kept on not hearing me. It's like it didn't register in her brain. She wouldn't let it register in her brain. But now that I have a serious girlfriend, she gets it. And she's trying really hard to accept it. She loves that I'm happy and has found someone to make me happy. She doesn't love that it's a girl, and she feels uncomfortable, clearly feels uncomfortable around us. She doesn't like sitting in the car while we're in the car. I can tell that she's not comfortable and she's not happy that I'm not what she wanted me to be. She wasn't mean about it. She did at one point say that this was just going to drive us apart. For a little while it did. But she's coming around. And it's pretty great. And I'm happy she's finally beginning to accept who I am. My dad, on the other hand, he came into this whole thing a little later in the game. I didn't tell him right away. I only told him maybe a month ago. When I first told him, I texted him and said, I have something really important I want to talk to you about. And I decided I'd call him that night and we'd have a conversation. And he didn't tell me this till later, but he actually thought I was pregnant. Homosexuality is the best source of birth control, so yeah, I'm definitely not pregnant. His response over the phone was supportive. He said exactly, you're doing well in school and things seem to be good. If you're happy, I guess that's what any father could want. All I ever wanted for you is to be happy. And I'm glad you're finally happy. However, later on, he was clearly uncomfortable, and he kept saying things like, oh, I should have protected her more when she was a child. There's so many gay role models out there. He compared being gay to being born with an extra toe. I was like, no, Dad, you can't get inflicted upon gayness. Gayness can't be changed. It's something you're born with. He's like, oh, like an extra toe. And I was like, it's not a deformity, Dad. And he's like, no, it's not a deformity. When you have an extra toe, you can swim faster. I was like, no, you lose your balance or something. I don't know. Why are you comparing it to a deformity? And he starts like smiling and giggling, and I'm just like, I'm going to the bathroom. I can't deal with this. He's quite uncomfortable with it, and he constantly says, oh, what about that one guy you dated? What's his name? And talks about the guy I dated for 2.5 years. We were best friends. We didn't have much of a sex life. He was my best friend, and I didn't understand. I was in love with who he was on the inside. I told him that my first kiss was a girl. And he said, well, actually, it was this boy, and you used to chase him around the yard trying to kiss him. Were you gay then? And I said, I wasn't kissing him like kissing him. I was like 5 or 6. And he thought I had cooties, and it was really funny. I mean, who wouldn't do that? If someone was scared that you had cooties, of course you're going to chase them around the yard trying to kiss them. Obviously, it's hilarious. And he just makes these little remarks, and it's just so clear that he doesn't like it at all, and he's hoping it will change, and that it's just a phase, but it's not a phase, and I wish that he'd be more accepting. He's trying, I guess, but he's clearly uncomfortable. I'm really glad that I finally figured myself out on what I want. For so long, I dated guys, and I didn't really realize or accept who I was. I kind of knew it in the back of my head, but I blocked it out completely. And I'm glad that I was able to find myself because I'm so much happier now. I feel like I'm really the true me, the me who I've supposed to been all along. And there's a part of me that just feels a lot better. It was like there was this broken piece in me, and it was because I was hiding who I was. And I know it's scary to come out. It was terrifying to tell my father. And it's really scary to think about maybe being rejected or banned or just shoved away. Shunned is another word for it. But I think I'd rather be shunned than live a lie. Once you do it, the people who were once in your life, they might not be there for you anymore the way they once were. But you'll be happy in the sense that you'll be with who you want to be and you won't be living a lie. And maybe one day those people will realize that they were being stupid and they'll just come around. My dad is coming around, I think. He has not, however, met my girlfriend yet. Let's hope that he's okay with it and doesn't be mean or anything. I'm really worried that he'll just make some stupid remark around her, and not only will he insult me, he'll also insult her. And insulting me is one thing, but insulting my girlfriend, that's another. And that's my story about coming out. And I hope that it was helpful to show you that not everyone's going to reject you. And, some people might surprise you. I know I was certainly surprised by the immense amount of support that I got, even from my pastor. My pastor is so accepting. We go to a Methodist church, and my religion does not really support gay marriage in that sense. It does not let you get married in the church. It lets you go to the church, contribute your money, and help out at the church, but you're not allowed to get married there or be a minister there. But my pastor is cool, and he was like, yeah, we'll find a way around it. I'll find a way to marry you. And I'm just like, you're awesome. He just says, you love who you love, and God wouldn't make you a way that's wrong, because God doesn't make mistakes. And the Bible's an old book, and some people interpret it in sections like anti-gay sections. And my pastor says that the Bible was written a long time ago, and things have changed, and God's not that stupid, guys. He's not gonna shun you for being gay. And I think my pastor's amazing. He really has helped me. He's always helped me, but it's great to know that he accepts me for who I am. And that's just amazing. I hope my story has given you some strength or inspiration to maybe come out to a friend. If you don't want to come out to everyone, you can at least tell a friend. It'll all be okay. In the end. Because in the end, everything's okay. And if it's not okay, then it's not the end. That's my motto. Thanks for watching. Bye.